three things I see when I open a cash pay practice's books. Just three. Every practice I've ever diagnosed sits inside one of them. From the inside, all three feel identical. The practice is busy, the patients are happy, and the revenue is somehow flatter than it ought to be. From the outside, they're diagnosable in about 3 minutes. The owner almost never knows which one is theirs, but by the end of this video, you will. I first learned to spot these patterns inside my father's practice. He was a family doctor who made the leap to private practice on grit and instinct because nobody handed him a map. He struggled in ways he never had to. And what I see now in cash pay practices, I first saw in his before I even had names for it. I've seen what a well-structured practice does for a physician's life and what a poorly structured one costs them. The gap between the two is almost never what the owner thinks it is. So let me walk you through the three shapes that I've noticed. Okay, shape one, the busy but quiet practice. Here the schedule fills. Sometimes it looks properly full. Sometimes the owner is still actively trying to fill it. But either way, the top of the funnel isn't quite the actual bottleneck. What's happening underneath is that every patient is being treated as a first-time visit forever. There's no arc. There's no, here's what we do next together over the next 3 to 6 months. No named next step, no follow-up, no rhythm. No reason for the patient to come back besides the good feeling that came from the last visit. So people come in, they get treated well, they leave grateful, and then they don't come back. Not because you did anything wrong, but because nobody drew them a picture of what came next. The tell, and this is the thing to listen for, is when the practice owner says something like, "We get a lot of really positive feedback, but people don't always rebook." That's not a marketing problem. That's a retention architecture problem. And no amount of new patients will fix it because you'll just funnel them into the same door and lose them the same way. But there is a fix. It's specific and it's not more marketing. I'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, shape two, the service that stalled. Every service on your menu is there for a reason, usually a good one. It will help patients. To this end, you put skin in the game. You bought the machine, you sent the physician to a training course, or you built the treatment room because you saw the clinical case for it. And you hopefully also saw the business case. You could see how it would earn its keep once patients found it. Both were the right reasons to make that call. The treatment does the job it was bought to do. But investment and adoption are two very different things, and a lot of practices have at least one service that made it through the launch phase and then just stalled out. Patients don't ask for it, and you're not quite sure how to introduce it into the conversation. The lead flow for it never materialized, or maybe you just haven't found the bandwidth to promote it properly alongside everything else you're already doing. None of that means the decision was wrong. It just means the service is now in an ambiguous state, costing you overhead, occupying menu space, and sometimes tying up expensive equipment or physician time without generating the return it was designed to. And here's the structural reason nobody catches it. Every practice's instincts are calibrated for volume. You notice when the schedule empties, when a bad review lands, when your team is drowning. But atrophy makes none of those noises. It's a service quietly earning less than it costs to keep, inside a practice that from the outside looks like it's winning. The metrics that would show you the problem aren't the ones a busy practice naturally watches. You're watching top-line revenue, patient count, booking rate, the numbers that say that the doors are open and the schedule is filling.